Well, there's definitely not enough respect. Kids get overlooked and ignored, and a lot of the time they get discriminated against because they're disabled themselves or they've got problems of their own.
I'd rather they took me seriously, that they wouldn't think I'm just a kid. Whereas I'm not just a kid, I'm a patient, and I also speak on a patient's behalf.
Those children are the ones that patients have been sent back to, and they're the ones that have got to sit at home and think, right, now what do I do? I've got to look after this person 24/7. I don't know how to do it.
They're not just kids in this situation. Carers look after their parents or loved ones, and they know what they're talking about. So doctors and nurses should be made aware that they should listen to the young person as well.
Yeah.
There's only two basic options, either a letter or a doctor telling you, and it would be helpful to receive an odd email, phone call, text, or people that can't generally read like a picture diagram on what's going to happen.
I find this annoying because now Kieran is into adulthoods, so they send the letters to Kieran. Again, I keep saying he cannot read and write. Can you send them to Kieran, but care of Wendy Walton? Because Kieran would actually open the letters and rip them up. He can't read texts, he won't speak to anyone on the phone, so the only way of communicating is to send it to me so I can actually read the letter and do the appointments for him. Because otherwise they end up in the bin and we wouldn't know what we're doing.
So what I do is I speak to the nurse or the doctor, and then the nurse will tell me, or doctor tell me what happened, what's going to happen, and then I tell my mum or dad what the plan is. Then they will know what's going to happen.
Some people do prefer letters, email, text, even emojis. You know, send an emoji to somebody. You know, your appointment is next week. Smile. You know, but somebody'd rather have that than a letter that comes through the door and they can't read a word of it. It's all gobbledygook. What if they have dyslexia?
Make deception a bit better.
I do find it rather difficult when I'm going for myself to a doctor's practice or GP's practice that they've not communicated and passed on the notes so others would know what's going on. And it does get a bit frustrating when you have to keep repeating yourself.
I remember having to explain about my Tourette syndrome to the doctor before I could actually get help about the Tourette syndrome. So it would be better if the doctors or nurses learned about us before we came into the room, to actually read the notes on us and be able to talk more about the issue at hand rather than having to introduce yourself and your problem before you actually talked about what you needed to do about that problem.
When this young person walks in, the nurses and doctors have done training. They could say, right, this young person's autistic, we'll take extra bit of time to read his notes before he comes into the clinic. So they have that better understanding plus empathy with them, and they're not trying to stress them out and rush them out of the clinics.
If they could give you a basic map, a simple map or a simple app to use on your tablet or mobile phone, which will indicate where people need to go in hospitals or health centres or GPs and who they need to go and see.
They should use like pictures to explain your body parts, like, because if they use big technical words, then you might not know what they're talking about.
So within our standard operating procedures, we have included like processes where every single patient that walks into the pharmacy is approached and is being sure to ask whether information is required in alternative formats, whether that's large print or braille or the additional consultation time that there's such a diverse sort of range of needs that we pick up. And the next time the person comes in, we automatically are aware that this patient might require large print or braille, so it's opened up that accessibility.
Yeah. More images and see the name so we know what they are.
The main problem with identifying anybody is really they don't have a distinguishing colour or a badge.
They should wear like clear name badges so that the patients and the people who are with the patients can see it. Not like tiny writing on their badge where, I need to see your badge because they can't see it.
Not just by the identification card, but saying the job role on the uniform and specifying the rank of that person, where it may be a porter, junior doctor, or management, and specify not just what they are, what do they do, and what wards do they belong to, and also have basic pictures on the uniform to specify to people that can't read what their identity is.
I'm Julia Matthews. I do the corporate responsibility for Into Broadmarsh and Into Victoria Centre in Nottingham. We've been working with Autism East Midlands locally to try and create shopping centre environments across Nottingham and Into Broadmarsh and Into Victoria Centre to accommodate the needs of autistic customers. So we've set up some guides, so if someone comes to the centre and has got autism, they can plan their trip. They can first of all go on the website and download a guide, or they can go to the customer service desk and get a guide. They can also, when they come to the centre, it might be the carer or it might be themselves that can wear an orange wristband whilst they're in the centre, or they can carry a card, which we also have at the information desk for them. Now, what that means is they can come to us, and because they're wearing that orange wristband, we know to react in a certain way. All our staff have had training, autism awareness training, so they have been taught the skills to enable them to have more empathy with someone. The response has been great. We've actually got 4 members of staff across the centre who are autism champions. So there are, if we have particular scenarios where there's perhaps a difficulty, we might call one of those champions. One of those champions will step in and try and assist. They've had more in-depth training. And we've had customers come to us. We've had customers come to the information desk, get the wristbands. Customers are very pleased that we're offering this because it can make the experience a lot less stressful.
I'm Emily Malin. I work here at the Theatre Royal Concert in Nottingham. My role here is front of house manager, but I also oversee the access development of the business here too. We have something called a visual story that we find we have different types of this. So we have one specifically for the Theatre Royal and one for the concert hall. In it there's details of sort of what to expect when you come to the venue. So it may be the front of the building, what the foyer looks like when it's busy, what the auditorium looks like. So we include various symbols as well in that story, as well as photos and short snippets of text that detail to someone. If you read this visual story, you will get a sense of what to expect when you come along. We also offer familiarisation visits, so people can actually come in when the show isn't on, come and look where their seat is, just get a feel for it. So when they actually do come for their sort of real visit to the show, they've actually already sussed out their environments. Before we did anything like this, we went and saw what other people did. So we visited actually another venue in Southampton, saw what they did and thought, how can we translate this for our own venue? We adapted it to adjust it to shape our environment. So basically anyone could take our visual story, look at it and translate it into their own industry because they know their business best. Because it not only makes the people on the autistic spectrum reduce their anxiety levels, it actually makes the carers feel more relaxed, and they also enjoy their visit because they don't have to worry about all the what ifs. They can go, we're being as prepared as we can for this visit, and they know their people they're bringing best, so it's great.
And we need to get this across that not all disabled children are able to communicate properly. Some are non-verbal, some are deaf, and we need to get this across to them.
Don't discriminate against disabled people.